BSing with who? BSing with what? BSing with Sean K. BSing with who? BSing with what? BSing with Sean K. BSing with who?
Welcome to another episode of BSing with Sean K. I'm your host, Sean Kneese. And on this show, I talk with people who live outside the box and provide a platform for opinions not often heard in the mainstream media.
This was on me the whole time?
Yeah. See, that's how much we control you, Mr. Cologne.
How is this even possible? This is impossible.
Anything's possible when we're in charge.
You guys have to show me your tech-savvy ways. I need to find out how to do this.
That's why we want you as one of us. And this is episode 96. And for this episode, I'm going to play you a conversation I had with my good friend Casey Cologne. His name's Cologne, but it's not spelled like, a cologne, like you buy a cologne. It's C-O-L-O-N. And I know him from improv, and he's mainly an actor. That's what he's pursuing now. And when I've performed improv with him, he does a lot of eccentric things, like lying down on the floor in the middle of a scene, or the beginning of a scene. He also has an interest in music. I believe one of the first times I did improv with him at Improv Now was when we did the musical improv jam. And I remember he has a good singing voice. To be honest, we recorded this conversation over a month ago, and for a while I was hesitant to release it. And not because the content was bad, the conversation is very entertaining, but it was because we recorded it in a Panera Bread, kind of spur of the moment, and there's background noise, but you can hear everything. And for a while I was thinking, even though I liked the conversation, I was like, am I gonna look professional putting out an episode that I recorded in Panera Bread, or should I re-record an interview with him at some point? But I feel like that kind of adds a certain charm to this episode, because it also kind of just documents, like, it shows who he is in a way, because he's just very spontaneous with let's do, he just hit me up, he's like, let's record a podcast. And then this was before I started booking studio time at 353 Studios, but I was wanting to do more interviews in person. So the way I originally thought to do it without background noise was that I'd interview him in the basement of the Triple Crown. And then we both said, well, Steve's not going to like us being here before the show. So then he was like, all right, let's go to Panera Bread and record it. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess, maybe we could find a spot without background noise, but there's all that background music and everything, and, we'll just wing it and see what comes out. A song that Casey sang in one of his Instagram videos sums up my thoughts about this pretty well. We just wanted to capture the moment for you, and that's what this episode does. It captures the moment. And I also, the clip earlier was of these skits. He wanted to do improv film skits in Times Square with me and him filming with our phones, and that was a clip of one of the skits we did. And I think that also emphasizes his spontaneous nature. He's a real character, but I mean that in a good way, of course, and it's like he lives life like an improv skit. Just, he has an idea, he just goes with it. I think this episode demonstrates that pretty well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the conversation, and here it is. We'll just wing it, man. Yeah, this is an experiment, recording a podcast at a Panera Bread in New York City on 7th Avenue.
On a dark and stormy night,
On a dark and stormy night.
Sean and Casey meet at the Triple Crown.
Yes, but then they can't record in the basement before the show because Steve wouldn't like that. So
Because if it happened, they'd be castricized.
yes,
Their heads cut off.
exactly.
Yes.
That's what Steve does to the. That's what he did to the last improvisers that screwed around.
Yes. it was prophesied.
Yes, so that's why we had to retreat to the Panera Bread, where there is background music.
Yes.
Hopefully it doesn't interfere too much with the sound. This is more of a, I guess this is an experimental episode to see how
Yeah.
records in an environment
Yes,
like
yes.
this. Yes.
Yes.
But so yeah, you're an actor.
Oh, indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And you've done like some
Aren't we
musical
all?
theater, yeah.
Aren't we all?
And we've done improv together a bunch of times. There's been a lot of improv people on the show lately.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the new thing, man. It's
Yeah.
the new thing. It's
Yeah.
the new fling.
Yeah, improv and BSing with Sean K.
Yes.
Yeah. So what can
just one letter away from improve.
Exactly.
You know?
Improv
we
to
are
improve.
improving
Yes.
our lives. That's what it is.
So what can you say about yourself? I guess what's been your journey till here?
Well, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You know.
Okay, so you were Muhammad Ali in the past
I'm
life.
the greatest.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's anything else more that needs to be said.
Alright, so you do acting and like musical. What got you into acting?
I started off, my first hobby was writing. I used to write short stories. I like The Legend of Zelda, so I wrote a story about The Legend of Zelda. You know what that
Like
game
a fan
is, right?
fiction? Yeah, like a
it's
fan fiction kind of thing.
and I
Yeah.
entered it in a contest, which I don't know if the contest rules really allowed you to do that, because it's kind of like,
Copyright.
yeah, copyrighted, but I was freaking, 14 or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I submitted it, and I think I got like a nice little participation award. So I felt pretty good about it. It was really nice. It was a nice, pretty participation award. I've also published poems with this thing called Greenway Press. You know those publication companies? You go, you publish your poem, and then you got to pay to buy your own poem.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Publish a poem, then you got to pay to buy your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's in the book, so somebody bought it. I couldn't buy it at the time, but I know somebody bought it, and they read these poems that are pretty much wrote in the box, because on the website you can actually write the poem or copy and paste your poem into the website and enter it as an entry. I was in school that day. I think I wrote these poems, and I wrote 2 of them on the spot, just off the top of the head, freehand, and I entered them in, and they got published in their poetry book. So I'm just very curious to know who's read those poems. Like, you never know, like, who in this world, like, actually
You might have
bought that
inspired someone.
Greenway book,
Yeah.
you know, and read those poems.
Yeah. So,
I did get I think I may have gotten a print back from Greenway Press with the poems on the paper, you know, but not the book itself. The collection of the book, they cost money to make, so I had to buy it. But I did get like 2 little publication awards that time. So
Nice. So poetry is like where you started, and then gravitated towards acting. But poetry isn't acting in a way, because it's kind of like I did a spoken word not too long ago at Stark Reality open mic.
Yeah.
I think I told you about that, or the open mic. Yeah.
You did poetry.
Yeah, spoken word poetry.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
and it was like. It was my words, and it's like my lyrics to these songs I'm actually working on.
You write songs.
Yeah, I write songs that I'm going to get started with, like recording them more, because I got like better recording equipment now. But yeah, I performed the lyrics as spoken words, and I practice it, but like I said it in I guess a monologue kind of way, like even though they were my own words, like acting out the words I was saying.
Yeah. That's good. You gotta do that. Like, I like Broadway. And with stuff like that, you go on there and you perform it as a character that's not yourself. You're doing a character, as opposed to like singing and stuff like that. You do like you know, your original music. Sometimes I don't know about ghostwriting. You ever do that? You ever like write for?
I don't know if that's that easy to get into. Ghostwriting?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
not.
That's like writing for people that other people to do, like like a stand-up comedian or something. Yeah.
So it's got to be pretty interesting. Like, how many songs do those ghostwriters have in their databases to match up with these people? You know?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So then, now you're more into getting into films, right?
Yeah.
But you also have a musical theater background. So when did the musical theater background come?
When I can organize my life into a way where I can get time to rehearse the right songs, because finding songs is so hard to do in musical theater that fits you, roles that fit you. I'm curious to see. I auditioned. My last audition was West Side Story. I'm not much of a dancer, but I'm sure, like, if I robotically practice and like serious and consistent about it, I have legs.
So like you audition for like the actual Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's because it's a little. So I guess it's a little different. I haven't done much theater, but I know film you have to be in SAG to audition for like a speaking role. But I guess with musical theater you don't have to like worry about that as much.
Well, you know, sometimes I'll just run into the building and see what's going on, you know, and that day, this is for my first couple of days over in New York when I came out here to consistently find work, network, and stuff like that. That was last month that I started really like heavily pursuing my careers, ambitions, dreams and goals. It was last month, you know, still pretty.
So it's always been in you, but you didn't start getting really like serious about it.
Really serious.
Yeah. So wait, where did you move? You just moved to New York?
No, I did not move. I live at home with my parents, Long Island, New York. It's a beautiful home, loving parents. I'm grateful to God for them, and even when I'm over here in New York, I feel like they're still with me. It's very real. Grateful for God for that connection that He's allowed us to have, you know. Now, you wrote poetry. I know you're interviewing me, but I'm trying to.
Well, it's BSing. It's BSing. Yeah.
What kind of poetry that you write?
Like very direct, straight to the point.
Yeah, because you don't come off. You're interesting because you don't come off as a poetry guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I grew up listening to like a lot of like 80s hardcore punk bands, like Minor Threat, Dead Kennedys, Negative Approach, like bands that were very direct in their writing and like straight to the point. And I guess I always kind of kept that, like making something like that just punches straight to the point. So I don't know if I don't really write like a lot of writing that's like overly wordy
is it
or
like
anything.
One over the what was it? One over the red wheelbarrow or something like that.
Oh, I don't know about.
Like
I don't know anything about a red
wheelbarrow.
Oh, I don't know anything. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it's like song lyrics, and I just kind of like I did write one thing that I performed that was called The Creators. It's actually on my Instagram if anybody wants to look it up.
Nice.
It was kind of influenced a bit by like Nietzsche's book Thus Spoke Zarathustra, but it's more about like I guess like creators, like people who or artists or
Yeah, I was checking out the shoulders. I like the gold shoulders you got over there.
Oh yeah, I have gold
pretty cool, man.
shoulders.
So flashy. Rain jacket. You know, rain jackets are usually, a rain jacket. It's got like gold shoulders. It's cool.
Yeah. But we've done a lot of the improv helps with the acting. I guess you view improv as another form of acting too, right?
I actually like that. I've noticed that, sometimes my own ego can get in the way of me allowing myself to be silly, allowing myself to take risks as characters and be zany. You know what I mean? I'm always like serious, like I gotta get it across. But sometimes you really gotta be, dramatic in order to get like a character across. You really gotta move. You know what I mean? So I do improv as frequently as I can in order to do that. They have Shakespeare improv teams.
No, but I'd want to check that out.
Yeah.
But you'd have to learn like how to speak in Old English, right? Because I took a Shakespearean acting class like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But I could get into the character like reading the line and really like understanding what it meant in New English, but I don't think I could improvise like in Old English. That'd be pretty confusing, I think. Is that what the Shakespeare improv is? Or?
Yeah. You got to do like things in the iambic pentameter. Speak like a poem. You know, so I don't know, like, let me see if I can think. Sean and Casey on a storm's day.
Sitting in a Panera Bread.
See, that wouldn't work.
That wouldn't work, no.
Yeah. That wouldn't work. You'd say, like, Sean and Casey.
Sitting in the great bread of Panera.
Sitting at the table of great bread.
Yeah.
Cornered by the rain, hailing from the sky. There was nowhere to go but to the home.
Drinking the cup of caffeinated inspiration.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they say. Yes. Something like that.
Yeah. So you did that like a couple of times. You said that.
Yeah. Actually, I wrote a play, my first one last night with one of these guys that I met. It's kind of like that Waiting for Godot thing. So I'm kind of interested in it. You know. Basically, I started off thinking of like improv.
Mm-hmm.
So the improv game was questions only. So they started asking questions throughout the whole thing, and then it just has its own twist. The characters are doing weird things, and the ending has an answer. Yeah. And his name's Jackson Crook. He actually is the one who gave me the idea to do this play in reverse. So I started reading the play in reverse, and it kind of works, you know. So I might be able to do that, to do this play going one way. Work out the
why it just makes sense better that way, going backwards? Or
no,
what?
go forward first time, or start backwards first time.
Yeah, I've heard of like techniques like that. Yeah, or like read as the other character and see how.
But it's a film. It's not a stage.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be trying to incorporate what's going on in wow, we got this whole floor private. I don't know what this. Oh, there's that guy. Get out of here. Okay. one more guy upstairs. Scott in a nice shirt though. He could stay. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. And that's the first time that I really completed something in writing. Usually I don't finish. So now, like with this new attitude, go get them. I'm starting to finish. The singing has been slow. I did go to the Voice open mic. On my birthday, actually, I performed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A Voice open mic?
Yeah, the Voice TV show has like these open mics every month. I think it's like the second Tuesday. They have the open mic over at Rockwood Music Hall. It's downtown, way downtown, when First Street turns into Allen Street. So it's
worth checking. You think it's worth checking out, or because I've been looking to check out
all the time. So far, back-to-back shows, amazing singers, amazing talent. I mean, they're pulling tickets out of the hat, but everyone that they're pulling has some sort of distinguishable talent, distinguishable stage trait that makes them interesting to watch. And on top of that, they have the Voice show finalists perform, you know? So it's quite the show. It's quite the show to be at. It happens second Tuesday of every month, I believe. I know it goes on in California. Maybe in California it goes on a little bit more, and maybe in California it's more like an audition. But this isn't an audition. It's just an open mic, and it's hosting and featuring some of the Voice's finalists.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So and
The New York show might just, I mean, you never know, because it's back-to-back good shows. You know, like the people who are hosting the show, they might start inviting more people out. So you never know. You know, if I were hosting the show, I'd probably invite more people out, just seeing that it's success. You know, it gets a little tight in the Rockwood Music Hall, but it's pretty cool.
Nice. It's mainly just like music, the open mic. I mean, like
yeah.
Yeah.
All music.
Yeah, because I know that like there's some open mics are just comedy too, just yeah.
You could probably do comedy singing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So like you have you're also like working behind the scenes. Like what do you have planned for like the near future?
I am working on a film called 9 Cents of the Law right now. It's part of the Independent Film Collective with my friend Jason Kim and many others. And basically it's just a film about a will and the fact that there's no will being left by a father who's passed away. And there are two characters. There's Carmen and Esteban, sister and brother. I obviously play Esteban, the brother. And he's like the bastard child or whatever. And Carmen's like the legitimate heir. So anyways, there's no will. So they're just trying to find what's on the estate and see what they can retrieve in order to make some money during like hard financial times. Anyways, Esteban's over there searching over in the attic, and he finds something, and the whole play revolves around that. And it's an independent short film. You see, it's being filmed at.
He has this all documented. You have this all documented in your.
The Midway Theater in Queens.
Yeah.
UAI Midway Theater.
Oh, I haven't.
In Queens.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've been there. No.
UAI. No, that's it. UAI Midway Theater in Queens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where it's filming. It's pretty cool.
And he has this all written down in his little black notebook.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. Again, being in that film got me a little bit more motivated to writing and working on projects of my own.
Nice. You said a Marvel? You want to write a Marvel?
Yeah, I want to write a Marvel one. I was thinking about maybe the Riddler or some.
Well, that'd be DC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I told him before here that I told maybe Jackson before here, telling him I'm not a crazy like Marvel buff Marvel guy. So it might be interesting to see how I run with this.
Yeah. So is that how it works? Like you can pitch a movie to like Marvel Studios?
I don't know how it works. I'm finding out on the fly.
Because I think there's a lot of like Marvel.
There's a whole bunch.
Characters that aren't even used in the movies.
Yeah.
The Netflix series like used like a bunch that were like obscure before, like Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
A lot of ones people never heard of before.
Yeah, exactly. And I went to the library today. What was the one? River that runs through London or something was one that I was checking out. Just two detectives, and they deal with finding out what's going on with magic homicides and stuff like that. A river on London. And tomorrow I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna see what else I can find. After I do my other work on the computer too. I'm just grateful that there's a lot of opportunity, because some people don't have it, don't find a way to give it to themselves and stuff like that. I totally understand.
So you find like applying like on Backstage the most useful, or is it more like someone who's working on a project? And
I found out this through Meetup.com. I actually
really? There's like roles you can find on there, because I found out about the Actors Gym, which I might go to tomorrow. The Actors Gym, where like you can work on a scene with someone. Yeah.
The Actors Gym. I saw that on Meetup.com, but I was very confused about that, because I couldn't tell whether it was just a workout thing or not.
Yeah.
Are they working out? Are they acting?
No, it's like acting. Working out their acting.
They're like lifting weights.
Oh no. No, the workout is the acting. It's like the Actors Gym, like working out your act. Yeah,
wait, hold on. So at the Actors Gym, they don't even work out? I thought it was an actor's gym, like they were trying to get fit and sexy for like their roles and stuff like that.
Nah, I mean,
No, I had no. Like that was 100% how I read that. I thought it was a meetup where like actors like just go like lift weights.
like, yeah, we're gonna get that role.
I was like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's roles where they want you out of shape
I'm a little
too.
bit more interested now.
Yeah.
in what this actor's gym thing is.
Oh, because you thought it was like an actual gym. That's
I was still gonna go. I was gonna push myself to go, but I've never been too much of the workout kind of person. I like I walk around everywhere, so that's cool.
Well, yeah, in New York, or I guess in New York, like it's
commonplace.
Yeah, it's easier to like walk and stuff. Like, I mean, New Jersey, like I like to get to the gym because a lot of people drive a lot of places. I try to walk as many places as I can, but I usually go to the gym for like lifting.
Oh yeah.
More than one, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been finding out which bridges you can travel, which bridges you can walk over, and which you can't. So I was having fun with that. I was trying to find out whether you could take was it the Queensboro Bridge to Roosevelt Island? And I was reading articles about the elevator there.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's closed. And, like the elevator used to be open over there. So I was looking at how to get to Roosevelt Island, but it says that you can only get there from Queens.
Oh, so you have to go to Queens and then...
Yeah. Go to Roosevelt. So I might check that out maybe next week, because I have some work to do over in Queens, and then maybe on the way back I'll check out.
Yeah. So like, what's your dream if you where you one day want to be, like a film actor, or you want to be like more on Broadway, theater, that kind of?
Well, I feel very the way that I feel right now is that, you know, my opportunity that I have, it's part of a dream. It's a dream now, you know. So I'm extremely grateful to be here. You know, I feel every second minute is extremely precious, you know. So I'm just trying to do my best to find a way to leave a mark before, you know, to just leave my mark, leave a legacy.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. That's what life's all about. What you leave behind, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To make some kind of impact.
You know, it's kind of funny because this play that I wrote, the two characters are holding 2 umbrellas. It goes, why are you holding 2 umbrellas? And he goes, do we have 4 umbrellas? And then the other guy says, do we? And then he's like, don't you think? And then he's like, do you think anyone would believe it? And he's like, we've seen crazier things, haven't we? Aren't we crazy? Is it us or the world? Is the rain getting between yours too? And he goes, aren't you soaked? And he goes, aren't we in the same shoes? So I want to ask you, aren't we in the same shoes right now?
Not exactly. You're more like a boot kind of thing. I'm in sneakers.
Yeah. See, that's what it says over there.
Yeah.
But what he was trying to say is like, can we both just like walk in the rain and we're outside in the rain and stuff like that?
So kind of like synchronized.
Yeah. I feel like it's synchronized right now.
So guys, so upstairs is closed now, but you can go downstairs if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Just wrap. Any one quick thing you want to say? I mean, the jam's gonna start soon anyway. So.
All right. So before the rain stops, let me see. We could go down for the show. Let's go down for a show. All right.
I guess that's good for a podcast. All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
That was a conversation, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I just want to say, I know that the proper way, the professional way, is you're supposed to isolate the background noise and record it separately, but this was kind of like a screw the rules episode. And I liked leaving in little things like at the end when the one girl working there told us to leave. This was more about showing a slice of life rather than a more structured interview like a lot of my other episodes. Like, normally I wouldn't do something like that, like record an episode at Panera Bread. I kind of just it's more. I was viewing it more as like a practice episode when we recorded it, and I originally wasn't going to release it for that reason, like I said earlier. But I think the candid structure of it was very fitting of Casey's nature. He likes to record an improv skit, spur of the moment in Times Square, or record a podcast in Panera Bread, and it's a very Casey episode. Anyway, catch you on the next one.
BSing